Hello, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I'm in the same clothes if you saw the intro video first, because I just decided to make both videos at the same time and put them out instead of doing that at a later date. So in this video I will be talking about my experience with truck driving school. First of all, I went to truck driving school at Roadmasters, which is here in Conley, Georgia, which is Forest Park, Georgia. I know they have another location in Lithia Springs, Georgia, if you're not from Georgia. These cities probably don't matter to you, but I know Roadmaster is kind of everywhere. Seems though Warner owns Roadmaster, so Warner, however you say their name. So anyway, I did go to that school. They do offer lodging for people that are, you know, traveling or are going to school from out of state or somewhere far within Georgia, like if you're in Albany or whatever the case may be. I think one person like went there, they lived in Albany, if I'm not mistaken, and I think they stayed at the hotel. But I don't know how the hotel experience is because I live in Georgia, so it was just like a 30-minute drive from where I stay in Georgia anyway. So I went home every night. But let's see. I guess we can get into how the weeks went. I was there for 6 weeks. I think it was 6 weeks. I started in March. Yeah, about 6 weeks if I'm not mistaken. I was there for 6 weeks. Actually, I was there a little bit longer than 6 weeks, but we'll get into why I was there a little bit longer than 6 weeks. But yes, I was there. The training is 6 weeks. The first week you go, you're in the classroom. And, you know, you're going over everything that's on the that you need to know for the permit, for you to get your permit, CDL permit. So we went through whatever's in the book for whatever state you're in. It's different for different states because I guess different states have different, or may have a couple different laws than other states. So anyway, we were in there. We did a lot of book work, a lot of video watching, and got prepped, you know, for whatever's in the CDL permit book to take the permit test. I didn't have to take the permit test, but you do have to take that first week. Well, at Roadmaster, I don't know where it is anywhere else, but at Roadmaster, it doesn't matter if you already have your permit. You still have to take that first week class because I think you're supposed to have 180 hours. Yeah. For to ELDT, I think that's the name of it, training hours, because the FMCSA changed this year, that you couldn't just go and get your CDL. You had to get training from a school first. So that goes into the 180 hours that you have to have. So I did already have my permit, so I didn't have to take the permit test, but I still had to do that first week. It is kind of boring. If you like to sit down and you like book work and stuff like that, that's fine. But it was boring for me because I had already had the permit, so I've already read and did all that on my own time, because you can take your permit outside. You don't have to have you can have your permit and still go to school, or you don't have to have your permit and still go to school. I chose to do my permit on my own time. I took an online course to complete the hours to get to be able to take my permit. So anyways, that was first week. Second week, you test out of the first week. As long as you make higher than 80 on the written test that they give you to, you know, that you take the test, like everything you learn, you take that test. So after that, if you made higher than an 80, then you test out. And the next week you go to is the next week you go to the next area, which was pre-trip. Let me tell you, if you have no experience about trucks or don't know engine parts, regardless if it's in a car or anything, Pre-trip will kick your ass. I'm sorry. I know that I shouldn't probably be cursing, but I curse. Sorry. If you a person who does not listen to people who curse, I'm not the person you want to listen to. But it will. It's like, dude, I don't even know what the stuff is. We're just pointing the stuff, and the way they teach it, I think that's the only area where I could say they could do better in teaching, because the truck that we're using to do our our pre-trip inspection on isn't the same truck that you use to do your pre-trip when you have to take it with the DDS examiner. Okay, so that kept mixing me up because it was the brakes. On the truck that we had disc and brake drums, so that means we had a push rod and a slack adjuster on there. But on the examiner's truck, he had disc and rotors, which means there's no push rod or no slack adjuster. That kind of could have been said at the beginning, or teach us our pre-trip in the type of truck that you're going to take the exam in. That just kind of makes sense to me. And then unfortunately, the teacher, I don't have an issue with the teacher as a person because I don't know her. So, but as a teacher, she wasn't really that receptive to teaching. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do this one time, y'all better get it, y'all better write it down, because I'm not gonna do it again. So it was that type of thing. And we went, I went to school in March, which, like I said, it's been unseasonably cold this year, especially in Georgia. So in March, we were outside and it's like 30 degrees, 34, 35 degrees, okay? My hands are frozen and I'm cold because we're outside. So I'm like, I started writing and I couldn't feel my fingers. And you know what? I'm not writing no more. So I was like, okay, I'm going to listen, because the way she was saying, she was doing it real fast. And if you ask her to explain it again, she kind of got an attitude. So like I said, I don't have an issue with her personally. She's cool. But as a teacher, I really didn't get it. So, but there's another teacher there. His name is Mr. Jules. Awesome. Breaks it down, patient, works with you, make sure you know what's going on, make sure you know the parts. Will sit in there if you want to do in-cab. 30 million times he'll sit right there. So he's real cool, and he makes sure you know what the stuff is. And even though you don't need to know why it works, he explains to you why it works. So you kind of get to think, oh yeah, this works like this. This is why this goes here, and this is why this goes here, and why you have this in any way. So that's what it was. Pre-trip inspection. In the state of Georgia. When I speak, I'm only speaking about the state of Georgia. So if you hear information and you go and take your test and that wasn't the way that it was, and you don't live in Georgia, that's your fault if you listen to me. No, I'm not. No, it's not. My bad. That's me. But this is only for the state of Georgia. So I don't know how other states are. So in the state of Georgia, with the DDS examiner, you'll either get Part A, Part B, Part C, or D for the pre-trip inspection. So Part A is the front of the truck and the hood, the engine in the front, and then the tires, the steer tires in the front. That's Part A. Part B is the door, from the door all the way to the back of the tractor. That's Part B. Part C is the trailer. So that's the whole trailer, underneath the trailer, the tires, the entire trailer. And then Part D is everything. So I kind of wanted Part D when I did it, but I got Part A the first time. When I took my, I'm not going to tell you about the actual test right now. So I'm just going to break down pre-trip inspection within the school, and not from the actual CDL test, from the DDS examiner. So anyway, you have that, and then you have your in-cab, and then you have to do in-cab, and then you have to do coupling. For any part that you get, you'll have to do coupling and in-cab. So we had a chance, you could test out. You didn't have to wait. It started on Monday. Everything new starts on that Monday for the first and second week. But second week with pre-trip, you don't technically have to wait till Friday to try to test out. If you know your stuff and you can go through that pre-trip inspection, you can take the same day if you want to. So some people took it the Tuesday. Some people took it Wednesday. I think I took mine Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. I tested out. So if you test out before the week is over, you go to, which is, if it's supposed to be your third week, but you can test out early, and you go on to what they call the pad. You go on the pad. So that means you're going to actually start doing maneuvers, backing up. So there's with the school I went to, there was 1, 2, 3 maneuvers. You had alley dock, you had straight line back, which was with straight line backing and offset. So you offset to the left or you offset to the right. And parallel parking. So parallel park, yeah, parallel. Driver's side, sight side, and blind side, parallel. I already knew what my trouble area is going to be. And that was parallel, because I can't even parallel park a car. My idea of parallel parking, doing a parallel park in a car is just driving over the curb until I get into the space. I suck at parallel parking. I don't even know how I got my driver's license, but that was... Anyway, I got my driver's license at 16. But anyway, like I was saying, you do that for the remainder of your time, the maneuvers, and you go on the road. So on the road, it's a mixture of maneuvers and on the road. So my class time was from 7:30 to 5:30. So the first half of the class is from 7:30 to lunch, which, because we did 7:30, you got a break at 10 to 10:15, and then we went to lunch at 12, came back at 1. So from 7:30 to 12, that's the first half of the class. So you're going to be in one of those 4 areas. You're either going to be on the road, driving on the road and the interstate, or you're going to be in one of those maneuvers, one of the 3 maneuvers that I said. And then after you get back from lunch, you do another. You'll be somewhere else. So if you were on the road, you'll probably be on one of the maneuvers. If you haven't done the road, if you've done the maneuvers, you may go to another maneuver, or you may go on the road. So that's how it works for the remainder of the class time. So I think when I first went out, I think everybody gets straight line backing, because if you can't back up, you can't do any of those maneuvers. So when you first go out, they're going to put you in straight line. So, and offset. So that was pretty cool. Straight line backing is, once you understand how the trailer works, because if you're driving a truck, when you back up, if you have to turn your wheel the opposite way to get the trailer to go the other way. So if you want your trailer to go right, you have to turn your wheel left. You see, so it'll kick the trailer back out right. So understanding that took me a while because that's backwards. And I don't know if it's because I'm left-handed or sometimes I can be slow. It took me a while to really understand that. But it's just like anything. Once, it takes me a minute to catch how to do new things. But once I have it, I got it. Okay, so you do that for the remainder of the course. The teachers at Roadmaster, let me tell you, they're a trip. They are funny. You learn a lot, and they break it down. Let me tell you, our teachers, because I didn't know the front of the truck, if you get too close to an object or the teacher, it'll cut off. So my teacher kept standing right in front of me, telling myself, come on. I said, I'm not going to do that, because if I run you over, then I'm going to get a lawsuit. He's like, you're not going to run me over. But they didn't tell us for a while that the truck won't allow you to run them over, because it'll cut off. So they'll walk with the truck with their hand on the hood mirrors, and I'm like, okay, y'all dangerous. They'll get on the truck steps to tell you, you know, and then they have they communicate through walkie-talkie. So the walkie-talkie speaker part will be in the cup holder or in the truck somewhere, and they'll have the microphone on them and they'll speak to you. I wasn't aware of that the first time. So I'm trying to drive the truck, and I was like, okay, how am I gonna know what to do if like he can't hear me because he's all the way back there? And his voice started talking. I'm like, the hell? Looking around for the stuff. It's like, Tia, look down. There's a walkie-talkie. I said, oh, okay. He says, and he saw my mouth move. He said, you know, I can't hear you. You have to actually push the button. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, my bad. But anyway, yeah, teachers are freaking awesome. I don't really have anything bad to say about them. Let me tell you, though, there's some teachers there where you have to know your stuff because they're not going to tell you nothing. And it's not like they're not doing their job. It's just by the time you get to them, you should know what you're doing. So they'll just stare at you. Why are you doing it? I'm like, okay, am I going to get some help? Or me, I'm not a wait and let me ask for help. I'm okay, you're not telling me nothing. I'm just go. So I ran over so many cones. So many cones. And you know, I get a, what you doing? What you doing? Where are you going? I'm like, well, I don't know where to go. Well, then, you know, do this, do that. And I'm like, okay. So, but overall, they're great teachers. I know that I said, let me see. I had a few favorites, teachers. It was just based off of how they taught. They taught so you could understand. And if you go there, Big O, hands down, he be on it. Big O will get you right. So he was my favorite teacher. Mr. Jules was one of my teachers, favorite teachers. Mr. Gio was one of my favorites, and Mr. Roger. Those four, oh, perfect. They break things down so easily. Now there were other teachers. There was at the end there was a new teacher named Demetrius, and Derek is a teacher. He's cool as hell. Cool, have a conversation with you, shoot the shit. He's funny, you know, but he don't say nothing when it comes to teaching. He'll go have a conversation. You think he don't know what's going on, but he be watching. So I'm like, okay, when it came time for me to test, I'm like, I can't be with Derek. And I say, you know what? I probably ended up needing to be with him because the other teachers, they're great, especially my favorites, but I needed to learn how to set up and do what I needed to do without instruction. And they'll give you your setup line, and it's great that they do that, but it also will hurt you at the end if you don't ask, okay, well, if I need it, not saying don't go to them, because definitely go to them, but ask, okay, where do I set up? Because when you get ready to take that DDS test, the CDL test, honey, he don't tell you nothing. He just stand there looking intimidating, just stand there, don't say a word. I'm like, I don't know where to set up. I'm used to somebody saying, I'm used to people doing that. So that was pretty much it. I don't really have anything bad to say about the school per se. It's more so they probably would get a lot more done if they didn't have that many students to teach your ratio. Sometimes you be out there, you know, your first half of the class, or your first half from 7:30 to 12 is what, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30 is 4.5 hours. And for 4.5 hours, you think that you're going to be able to get in and do the maneuver at least 5 or 6 or 7 times. Sometimes I only got in one time because it was that many students, and if you don't get it, they have to teach you. So some students, it took them like 20, 30 minutes just to get into the spot or do the maneuver. Some people got it right away, especially if you're like within your third week and you kind of know the maneuvers but not really, and you get the new ones who don't know them at all. They're inside the truck for a while, plus they have to do a demo with the new people. And a demo is they have the new people get in the truck with the instructor, and the instructor does it and explains to them, with this is what you're going to look at, this is what you do, before they try it on their own. So they do the demo and then they have to do it. So, and they're new, so it's like, okay, I'm not gonna. So if they should make it so that you just change. You got done with this, you go to this, and you just rotate so everybody can get more than one turn. But I think, and also, Colleen, that's a school man. Oh, I forgot one of my favorite teachers, Miss T. She's the in-class instructor. Well, they switch up now, so she's not always in the classroom. But she cool as hell. She cool as hell. You'll like her if you go there. She cool. So she's one of my favorite also. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, what was I saying? Damn it. I don't remember. Oh yeah, now I remember. So as far as things they could do better, Colleen was a school manager. She was hella cool also. She stayed in the office, so I can't say she's a favorite because you don't see her. She's a school manager. She does managering type work, so she's in the office a lot. But she cool as hell. But I think the only thing that I don't like is it's a school, I understand, and schools have rules, but at the end of the day, I'm grown, so telling me, you can't be on your phone, or you got to be here at 7:30, or you can't go to your truck to take a call. Other people have professions, so I didn't really care for that much. I understand not being on your phone while you're on the pad because, you can get ran over by a truck. Well, technically you can't because the truck stopped, but I understand not having it on the pad. But yeah, some of their rules are like I'm in high school, and I wasn't cool with that, but it's whatever on that. To me, those were just, areas of improvement. Some of the conversations, and I'm not going to say who because I ain't throwing nobody under the bus, are kind of inappropriate for school. So kind of, if they could do anything, it's like, let them talk the way they talk and stuff like that. But some are not appropriate for you because they're at work. So it's not professional. So some of those conversations I did have to walk away from, but I do understand there weren't actually really a lot of young, 20, 21-year-olds. Actually, to be honest, there were a lot of people that were 35 and above. It's like these people have professions and everything. There was one lady, she's a financial analyst, and one was a social worker and mechanic. Well, I understand why mechanics might, but I mean professionals, not, oh, I used to work at Burger King and now I'm going to get my CDL. So, and I guess because of the economy right now, people are having to do different things, and from what I can see, the most secure professions that you can be in as of right now is either the medical field or the transportation field. And I wasn't choosing medical. So I just decided transportation, as most people do. So that was different because when I first got there, or when I first was going to go to truck driving school, I talked to people who have their CDL, and it's like, yeah, it'd be like, you're probably gonna be the oldest one in the class. No, not anymore. So, but overall, truck driving school, the school is great. I would recommend it again to anybody that would come. They're hella cool. So other than the areas that they can improve on, it was a satisfying experience. So I guess now I'll get to the DDS, the CDL test, which I had to take twice. Yeah, take twice. The first time I failed pre-trip. And like I said, that was due to, the teacher just did it the teacher wasn't teaching like that, like she should have been teaching, and she wasn't accessible to ask questions like that. So I did fail pre-trip. So I was pissed off about that, because let me see, the first time I got part A, which is the overall front of the truck, and then the engine, and then the tires. And then when you take your test, you're either going to do each part, you know, like I said, and get coupling and end cap. So I got A, and end cap I failed my I forgot the name of the test, but I failed that portion of the test where you have to air leakage test. That's what I failed. I failed my air leakage test, where they say that one, if you don't do it 100% correct, you'll fail. You won't have enough points to pass. So I had part A, and I was okay. So I failed, and I had to learn what the DDS instructor was cool enough to give me some points of what I missed, so I know what to learn. So when I had to go back, because when you fail, you have to go to school again for 2 consecutive days, 7:30 to 5:30, and then you go to and then you take your test normally the next day, unless it's a Friday, then you take it that Monday. So I had to go back to school. Well, first I didn't have my paper CD. I didn't have my hard copy CDL. So you can't take your DDS test without a hard copy CDL at my school. I don't know where it is everywhere else, but you have to have the hard copy to take your CDL test. So I had to wait for that to come in the mail, because where I wasn't living in the same place as when I got my permit. So I had to change my address and do all that. So anyway, once I got that, and then I failed not part A. I failed, part A, but I failed the pre-trip. So I had to go to school 2 consecutive days again, and then take my test. So the next time I did pre-trip the whole time, like, nah, we doing pre-trip. So I went back to pre-trip, where I got to do it with Mr. Jewel, and he's the one that I told you, one of my favorites, that break it down and explain it. So when I got ready to take my test again, I'm like, I got this, bet. So they gave me part B that time. Oh, I ran the hell through part B, and couplings, and end cap. We not doing this. So I passed. And then I failed the next portion. So I had to do I had to go back 2 consecutive days again. And then I passed, and then I timed out. So when I timed out, I had to go back and 2 consecutive days again. So all in all, I had to take it. I had to go back 3 times. But the road test is easy. I think you get where on the road you have to call out every sign. So there's a lot going on the road, and ain't just driving. And with my school, they have, and the DDS instructor examiner, make sure he waits to the end to give you to, gosh, what is the name of that thing? Oh, the turn. You take it right when you're going back to school. It's a specific turn, and my school calls it the dream killer, because you'll be doing good, and you'll be, killing it. Oh, you about to pass this road test. You got that shit. And what will happen is you'll go to that dream killer, and this is why they call it the dream killer. Well, one, if you hit the curb, run over the curb because there's a ditch right there, you automatically fail the road test. It don't matter how good you was doing. So it's a certain way you have to maneuver. But yeah, there's some students that didn't do that, and they hit the curb, and you knew when they didn't. They came back, they looked pissed off. All you had to do is say dream killer, and I'm like, hell yeah, shit. And so it was crazy. So I passed the dream killer because, like I said, I rode with Big O, and Big O is gonna make sure you know how to get past that dream killer. If you ain't listen to him, you failed. It's your fault, because he'll walk you through it. Period. You just have to stay high left. You're gonna have to hug that left all the way through, because at any time you go right, you gonna hit that curve. So Anyway, yeah, that was my experience. So my overall experience was pretty good. Like I said, it was 6 weeks, but because I failed the test 2 times, I had to go longer than 6 weeks. It ended up being, because you have to go, they'll reschedule you whenever his next available appointment is. So sometimes, you know, it'll be the next week when you took a test on Monday, but you can't test again until next Monday. So you're just sitting at home until you test again. So it ended up being closer to like 8 weeks for me instead of, so 2 months for me instead of 6 weeks. But yep, that is my overall experience on truck driving school. If you are here in Georgia and you want to try truck driving school, Roadmasters is where it's at. They do have, I can't tell you about the Lithia Springs location because I didn't go to the Lithia Springs location, but Conley, Georgia, oh, they hella cool, and you learn. So anyway, that's it for now. Until next time, I'm out.